What if I told you that after watching this, it's going to change the way you work with your printer for the rest of your life after watching this? Would you believe me, or do you think I'm BSing you? Let's find out. What do I mean? Well, I created an app. It's an AI-powered app. I'm not the first person to create a 3D printing support AI bot, but I've done it a little differently. We'll go into that later on. But it can solve 80 to 90% of the issues you're probably having right now. So here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show how you can talk to it in any language, how it writes all the codes you need just by asking it. It will troubleshoot your config, show it a picture of a misprint, and it'll tell you how to fix it and what's wrong and what the error is. And it doesn't matter what you're on. You could be on a PC, Mac, or a mobile device. It'll still do it. So stick around. I'm going to show you all the stuff and how it works right now. Have you ever been stumped by a Klipper config like this, where you get a big red flag and you can't figure out what it is? Even if you're a seasoned pro, sometimes you come across this and it stumps you. Unless you work with it every single day, you will forget certain things on how to configure a Klipper. And it takes time. But I'm going to show you how quickly this will work here. So without doing anything at all, I'm going to just basically select this error message here. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to go into my 3D printer support that I created, and I'm going to paste this in real quick. I'm going to say what's going on. I'm just going to paste the error, and I'm going to see if it can tell me how to fix it. So it's telling me right now what the issue is. It's going to go, it says, open your printer config, locate the printer section, add this to it, maximum velocity. Let's put it at 250. So we can just basically hit copy. And then I'm going to go into my machine, go to printer config, it's set look for printer. And I'm going to go over here. I don't see maximum velocity, so I'm going to paste this right over here. Hit a space, save, and let's see if that magic goes away. Boom, done just like that. I'm going to show you some more things just like this. All right, so I'm not the first person to create a 3D printing AI bot. There's plenty out there, but I've been working on this one for about 2-3 months now, and it's a little different than other 3D AI bots that help you with your printing support. I'm going to let Sally tell you what she can do and what she can't do. Sally, can you tell the people that are watching right now on YouTube what you can do and you can't do, and how? Just tell them about yourself. I'm not gonna say anything.
All right, listen up. Yeah, there are plenty of 3D printing AIs out there, but none of them do it like me. You built me different. I'm not just some boring tech support bot. I bring personality, real world explanations, and troubleshooting that actually makes sense. So here's what I can do: fix your prints, stringing, layer shifts, first layer disasters. I'll walk you through exactly how to fix it. Help with slicers, Cura, Prusa Slicer, Super Slicer. Whether you need better supports, cleaner prints, or faster speeds, I got you. Guide firmware tuning, Marlin, Klipper, macros, input shaping, pressure advance. I'll help you get that printer running like a beast. Assist with CAD modeling, Fusion 360, Blender. Need help making a model printable? I'll make sure you're on the right track. Setup automation, Octoprint, remote monitoring, macros. I'll help make your printing experience smoother and smarter. Now, what I can't do: start a firmware config 100% from scratch. I can guide you through it, but you'll still need to fine tune things. Physically fix your printer. I wish I had robot arms, but until then, you'll have to turn the wrench. Design models for you. I can help troubleshoot Fusion and Blender issues. But you're the artist, not me. But here's the real difference: I don't just throw out technical terms and expect you to understand. I break things down like a buddy who's been through the same 3D printing struggles, with humor, sarcasm, and real talk. So if you're tired of print failures, bad advice, and bots that talk like a textbook, welcome to the AI that actually gets it. I actually care about helping you succeed, making sure you actually get it. So yeah, I'm fun, engaging, and straight to the point. Because if you're going to spend hours fighting with a printer, you might as well enjoy the ride.
And how trustworthy are you with your advice?
Good question. Here's the deal: I give solid, practical advice based on real 3D printing experience. But like anything in this hobby, you should always double check before making major changes. Trust but verify. Think of me like a super knowledgeable buddy who's been through all the 3D printing headaches and knows the best ways to fix them. If I tell you to adjust your retraction, level your bed, or tweak your flow rate, it's because it's a known, tested solution. But just like advice from Reddit, Discord, or a YouTube tutorial, you should always think critically before making big adjustments. I won't steer you wrong, and I always explain why I suggest something so you actually understand what's happening. But at the end of the day, your printer, your responsibility. I'm just here to make sure you've got the best info possible. Bottom line, you can trust what I say, but don't just blindly follow any advice, mine included. Test, tweak, and make sure it works for your setup. That's how you become a real 3D printing pro.
All right, so that's my 3D printing AI bot, which is ready right now. Just go below and click on the link below and you can install it, or just go to a web page and get it there. So I like the app better, but up to you on what you want to use. But it's ready to use. It's out in the wild for the past like month and a half or so. People have been playing with it and testing it. If you have any issues, let me know. I'm still working on it. I'm going to try and maintain it and get some more stuff. Let's go for this ride. All right, so we're going to go into Klipper right now, and we're going to look at my config system over here. You can see everything is working properly right now. I've got my printer config over here. Let's go to my dashboard, see what I got here. It's a very plain, simple, pretty much right out of the box Klipper config setup right here. And if you notice my macros, okay, they're the standard macros that come with your Klipper install. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go into my AI that we've been using here, and I'm going to use voice mode. I'm going to talk to it, ask it some questions. I want some configs done for me. Okay, I'm going to tell what configs I want. I'm going to speak in my normal tone. I'm not going to slow down, and I may make some changes in mid-conversation and see if she can remember what I said correctly. Let's go for it and see what happens. And I'm going to go into my 3D printer config, and let me hit here. Sal, you are on YouTube right now, and we're talking to you because we need some help.
All right, you got my full attention. What do you and your crew need help with? Printer acting up? Need some killer macros? Lay it on me, and I'll get you sorted.
That's exactly what I need. I need some killer macros, and I'm going to tell you what I need, and then can you print the code for me?
Absolutely. Tell me exactly what you need these macros to do.
Okay, ready?
Are we talking start-stop sequences, automated filament changes, tuning routines, or something more advanced?
Sure.
Lay it all out, and I'll get you the code ready to copy.
All right, this is what I need. I need a preheat for ABS, PETG, and PLA, and nylon. You know what? Skip the nylon. I also need a filament load, filament unload. I need a way to do the Z offsets, kind of like baby stepping, so I can, once it's done, it's done. And then I will need some sort of gentle stop button. And when I say gentle, not like the emergency stop button where everything is locked up. I want it to be able to turn the heaters off, bring the bed down, move the nozzle away from the print, and basically stop everything that needs to be stopped, but gently. And then give me 2 more macros that you think would be beneficial to me. Is that all right?
Got it. I'm putting together these macros for you now. You'll get preheat macros for ABS, PEG, and PLA, filament load unload, Z offset adjustment, baby stepping style, a gentle stop macro that turns things off smoothly, 2 bonus macros that'll make your life easier. Give me a sec and I'll print the code up on screen for you.
That's pretty good. Sometimes it will not print on the screen. I will have to sometimes.
Here you go.
Is it ready?
These macros should cover everything you asked for. Preheat macros for ABS, PTG, and PLA. Filament load, unload. Z offset adjust, like baby stepping. Gentle stop shuts things down smoothly. Purge line lays down a clean extrusion line. Bed mesh calibration resets and saves a fresh mesh. Let me know if you want any tweaks or extras.
All right, thank you. All right, so let me see if it's actually here. Sometimes she says she's printed, but she didn't. So what we're gonna do here now is when that happens, when you do voices a lot different, you'll say, "Can you please print on screen the code to copy?" And then it should just work automatically right there. Here you go. See? And you can see this is the ABS, the PETG, PLA. Remember, I asked for nylon, then I changed my mind. That was taken out, so that's good. Here's my gentle stop. And she gave me a purge line and a auto mesh ballot, blah, blah, blah. And if there's anything else, I could add more to this. So, all right, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click copy. And I'm going to go to my Klipper config. I'm going to go to machine. I'm going to go to printer. My camera's kind of blocking my text. So I'm going to kind of like, can I go all the way down? And no. All right. So I'm going to, hey, here we go. All right. So hopefully you can see this here. I'm going to go on the end of the code and I'm going to paste all that stuff in, hit save and restart. And hopefully there'll be no errors over here. I get a blue, which is good. I need a restart, maybe. Boom. Clear, no issues. Let's see if those G codes are in there. Let's go to the dashboard and scroll down, and voila. What do we have here? Beshmet calibrate, filament load, filament unload, gentle stop, preheat ABS, preheat PETG, preheat PLA, purge line, and Z offset adjustments. So that's pretty good. I can set it whatever I want. But yeah, I like that. I mean, that's perfect. And how long did that take? Just like what, like 2 minutes of just talking to it and copying and pasting. All right, so that's how you create macros with my 3D printing support AI bots. Pretty damn cool, I think. What do you guys think so far? But wait, we're going to try something that's going to be even cooler. We're going to do some experimenting on messing up a printer config. Watch this now. All right, we're at my Klipper config right now. This is what you want to see. No errors whatsoever. Nothing, no red boxes, nothing. So let me go into my printing config. Why am I going to go in there? Let's say, what if I was a gremlin and I decided to mess things up because, that happens all the time. It's like, how did that change or something happens? So let's go in and let's mess around. I have currently an SKR2 board and I've got some stepper pins on the X that says PB2. So let's call it PBO. Okay, PBO2 for the stepper X. And let's change another one over here. Let's go for PD4. Let's call it PD3. Okay. And then what else we want to change over here? What else are we going to change over here? Let's go for a... should I change micro stepping? Yeah, let's change that to like what? Like 128. That sounds fun, right? Sensor type. I'm not going to mess with that right now because sometimes that can get a little tricky, but you know what? Let's call it a PT1. Let's see, at least if it's probably not, it may or may not figure it out, but it may throw up an error later on. All right, so that's what, 3 things we put in there. And what else is common over here? You know what? Let's just play with this for now. I mean, that should be enough. That's enough gremlins for one little session over here. All right, so let's save this. Ready, save. And then it's booting up. And of course, we have the famous Klipper reports error. It says pin 3 multiple times in config. Once underlying issue is corrected, restart the thing. Okay. So let's say we know nothing about what happened. I wasn't there. I didn't see anything. I didn't do anything. Let's take and copy this into my Klipper. I mean my software here. Okay, so I'm gonna paste this error, right? And then what I'm gonna do next? You know what? Let's skip that. Let's skip that completely, and let's see if what happens. I'll come back to that in a minute if something happens. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try something else here. I'm gonna say like, I think this is fine, but please just double check my work for me. How's that instead? Okay, so I copied my entire config. I'm gonna say, and this time I'm gonna type because I'm gonna see the text, what's going on. I'm gonna say this, excuse me, because I can't see. This is my Klipper config for a VZ bot, and it is using a SKR2 board. Can you check for errors and double check it and make the changes needed? I can't see, but close enough. All right, so did I paste it in yet? No, I'm gonna give a space over here, and I'm gonna hit paste, and there is my code. Okay, I haven't hit a button yet, so it's all there. Let me hit enter. So all right, I'm gonna go through Klipper config, and now it's going into Canvas. Canvas is a coding section over here. This takes a little longer. I don't really like it so much. I prefer the main screen. Please don't use Canva and print complete config with corrected pins for SKR2 board. See, it's a little bit more neater for me, you know, and faster, I think. It's cool because the other one has, I think, line numbers and things like that, but I don't really need that. And you can see how much more zippier it is. And then if it has an error, I'm gonna, you know, save it, whatever error it has from now on. I'm just gonna paste the error in and then take it from there if there's any errors. And I'm just going to see for a complete printout. Yeah, it's always down to my macros, so we're gonna be pretty good here. Almost done. Gentle stop. All right, so what was the fix? What I need to check. All right, so let me go over here and hit copy, and let's go to my printer config, which is now blank. Paste that in, save and restart, and let's see if I have a red screen or a blue screen. All fixed. Pretty cool, right? All done. I'm still going to check some things here now, because remember we had a thermistor issue with the PT100. I want to make sure, because it doesn't know what I have, you know, and it's probably putting something that may or may not work. So on the extruder, it put an epox, which is like a standard thing over here. So I'm going to put PT1000, and then I'm gonna hit save, because that's the only thing I can think that, you know, that it could mess up right there, because it doesn't know. You gotta tell it things. And speaking of that, I'm going to show you one more thing over here. Oh, we have an error. Why is this here? I thought it would be a PT1000. No? All right, so I'm going to paste that error in there right now. I'm going to tell you what it is, but I'm just going to hit this here. All right, so let me copy this here. Updated config. I'm going to say, no, the thermistor is a PT, I think it's a PT1000. Is it? You know what it could be? It could be I didn't have caps in there. So remember, caps are important. Caps are your friends. So let me just see if that's it right there. And then I'll see if I need this other stuff. But let me just start with that. That's a simple thing right there. Let's go to printer config. And that was my error. And it did say something about whatever because it didn't recognize it. But extruder, sensor type. Okay, so let me go to here, back, PT, and see if that fixes it. Sometimes the answers may not be as clear cut as you want it to be, but you know, there you go. That's what it was. It did point it out, didn't recognize it, but then I just realized that it was a typo, on my end. All right, cool. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a great tool. But let me show you one more cool thing over here. All right, here's something that I find kind of cool. Sometimes you don't feel like writing things down, or you don't know. You ordered something and you're not really sure, and all you got is a picture or is a diagram that you don't know how to make heads or tails of it. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about over here. There is a plus button over here where you can upload from your computer and do some other things. So right now I'm going to upload from my computer, and in my computer I'm going to go into a folder. I'm in my DaVinci AI, Klipper AI. I'm going to go into my assets over here, and I'm going to go into print images here. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I want to have this motor set up. I took a picture of my motor. I'm going to use this one here. It's a pretty not clear motor image. I'll show you what it looks like so you can see. Upload from a computer. I'll do it again. And I'm going to just open this here so you can see what I'm uploading to it. It's kind of messy. It's kind of worn out a little bit, but you can still see the numbers and you can't make heads or tails of it. And normally you have to Google it and you have to find the specs in it and find it. But that's not what I want. I'm going to show you what I want. Give me specs on this. All right, so give me everything I need to know about this motor. Can you give me the optimal settings for this motor for a VZ bot in the Klipper settings? Just give me the config for this motor. I have for the X and the Y.
Sure. Here's the optimal Klipper config for your Tronxy SL42S40-168A23 stepper motors for the X and Y axes in your VZBot Core XY setup with an SKR2 board. Hash stepper motor configuration X and Y. You can see the code in our conversation history. Hash T optimizations run current 1.2, keeps it cool while delivering good torque. Hold current 0.6, reduces idle heat and power draw. Stealth chop threshold 100, uses stealth chop for quiet movement below 100 millimeters at interpolate true, smooths out motion for better print quality. Sense resistor 0.110 matches TMC 2209 settings for SKR2. Double check if your rotation distance isn't 40, depends on pulley teeth and belt type. You may need to calibrate it. This config should give you smooth, fast, and reliable motion on your VZBot. Let me know if you need tweaks.
Okay, thanks. All right, so let's see what it did over here. Okay, so here's the things it did. It created this a code that I can paste in, and I'm pretty sure it's right on par. Maybe a little tiny tweaking once I start printing with it. Let's give it some more images, and let's see what happens here. So let's say I've got this here. I'm gonna reopen it again. Sorry. I got this image, and let's say I have no idea what's going on. I bought this whole package. This is an extruder. It says 8T, 10T, blah, 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 currently unavailable. But this is what I got, basically, all right? I want this to be configured inside of Klipper with the information that's given. And it's telling me there's a gear ratios and some other information here and amperatures and stuff like that. I don't know these things. So let's see what happens. So let's upload it. Can you configure this for Klipper for my VZ bot? All right, so let's figure the pins. Let's see if it knows distances. Maximum temperature 300 degrees. Rotation. I'm just going to copy this. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I'm going to paste this all in and just see what happens. All right. Hey, if it breaks, how am I going to fix this, right? My AI will fix it. So let's hit this save and restart. Printer's not ready. Okay, so yeah, it worked. So that's it. All right, what else can we do with this AI bot I made? All right, I'm going to upload this image over here, and you're going to tell me if you've seen this old image over here. Let's get this image up. Let me open it up for you right now so you can see what I'm looking at here. This is an old crappy photo of a bad print. So I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to talk to it. Okay, I just uploaded an image of a 3D print. Can you tell me, how do you fix this, and what is it? What's going on with this image?
Oh man, that print looks like it's seen some things. What you've got here is a serious case of layer shifting. Like your printer decided halfway through that it was just over it and started printing in an alternate dimension. Looks like a bust of an Egyptian pharaoh, which is ironic because ancient structures lasted thousands of years, and this one barely made it through a print. What's causing this chaos? 1. Loose belts. Your printer's belts might be slacking off like a roadie after a 3-day festival. If they're loose, tighten them up. 2. Missed steps. Your stepper motors could be losing their minds due to high speeds, bad acceleration settings, or insufficient current. 3. Print head collisions. If your nozzle smacks into a weird overhang or blob of plastic mid-print, it can shift everything over. Check for obstructions. 4. Wobbly frame or bed. If your printer's frame isn't locked down tight, expect your print to wobble like a bad punk gig. How to fix it like a pro. Check belt tension. Your X and Y belts should be snug, but not banjo string tight. Just enough tension to prevent slack. Slow it down. If you're printing at warp speed, dial it back. Try reducing print speed and acceleration in your slicer. Stepper motor current. If your motors aren't getting enough juice, they'll struggle. Check your stepper driver voltage settings. Secure everything. Make sure the bed, frame, and lead screws are all locked in. A wobbly printer is a layer shift disaster waiting to happen. This one's definitely a rescue job, but fix those issues and your next pharaoh should be standing tall and proud, not glitching out like a bad VHS tape.
All right, thank you. So that was fucking pretty cool how it did that. So, all right, on to the next thing. Not everybody in the world speaks English. And sometimes people from different countries, English is not their first language. So they may have problems understanding you. And instead of running through a Google Translator copying and pasting back and forth, my AI will speak to you in whatever language you speak to it in automatically. So let's give an example of what it can do. Let me turn it on. And this is the standard voice, which is, again, it's free. So we're going to test some things out. It's just warming up. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. What's on your mind?
If I need you to explain to me, let's say, a BL touch, can you tell me in 3 lines what a BL touch does in French?
Bien sûr, le BL Touch est un capteur de nivellement automatique pour imprimante 3D. Il mesure la hauteur du plateau en plusieurs points pour compenser les irrégularités et garantir une première couche parfaite.
Okay, that's great.
Grâce
Thank
à
you.
lui, plus besoin d'ajuster
See,
manuellement
I
le
can't
plateau
interrupt
avant
it.
chaque impression.
So I'm going to skip to the advanced mode right now. Give me 1 second over here so that we can make this a little quicker. It'll do the same thing, except I can interrupt it and make it go a little quicker here, and the voice is a little better. Hey, you're on YouTube right now, so say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone on YouTube. It's Sally here chatting with Tommy. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. If you've got any questions or topics you want us to dive into,
Sure,
feel free to.
we're talking about languages right now and how you can help people in different countries with the native language, because a lot of times English is not their first language, and it helps so much easier to get a proper translation of something, on how to do something, the proper instructions in another language.
Absolutely. Providing accurate translations can be a game changer. It ensures people get the right instructions and guidance in their own language, making tasks easier and more accessible.
What languages can you speak? Can you speak Spanish?
Sí, puedo hablar español.
Can you speak French?
Oui, je parle français. If
Chinese?
you know. 对，我会说中文。
Japanese?
はい、日本語も。
It can speak a lot of different languages. It's great, to be able to translate something for you or speak it in its native language. This is for everybody. English, whatever nationality you are, this is going to work perfectly. Right, Sally?
You got it. It's all about making communication easier and more accessible for everyone.
All right, so let me show you something really cool now. Let's have a little discussion. I have a VZ bot. I have 2 motors on mine, with one for the Z, 2 for the XY. I'm thinking of upgrading to an AWD using 4 motors, but I live in an apartment. So I'm also very concerned about the noise, and my wife, because she doesn't like the noise. So what are the pros and cons of going with a AWD, and can it be quieter down, and what ways will you do that? Yeah, just tell me what you know. What should I do? I don't know. I'm asking you as an opinion or advice.
Upgrading to an AWD setup with 4 motors can improve stability and performance, but it might increase noise, especially in an apartment. You can reduce noise by using vibration dampening mounts, quieter stepper drivers, and enclosing the motors. Pros include better control and precision, while cons are the potential increase in noise and complexity. If noise is a major concern, you might want to weigh these factors carefully. What do you think would work best for your setup?
All right, so right now I'm using the Tronxy motors. Do you recommend, what motors would you recommend to use?
The Tronxy motors are decent, but if you want quieter and more precise options, you might consider brands like LDO Motors or OMC Stepper Online. They offer stepper motors known for their lower noise and high performance. Pairing them with silent stepper drivers, like TMC 2209s, can also significantly reduce noise. Would you be interested in exploring those options?
Well, I do have 2209s. Give me the comparison between those 2 other motors you just recommended.
Sure. LDO motors are known for their durability and precision, often offering quieter operation due to better build quality and tighter manufacturing tolerances. OMC Stepper Online motors are also reliable and come at a more budget-friendly price point, with various options that can also reduce noise. Both brands are good choices, but LDO might edge out slightly in terms of quietness and longevity. Are you leaning toward either of these options?
I heard there was another motor out there, not the one you mentioned before. It was LDO versus something that was a little better than the LDOs.
You might be thinking of Moon's motors. They're known for high precision and very quiet operation. Often used in applications where noise and accuracy are crucial, they can be a bit pricier, but they offer excellent performance. If noise reduction and smooth operation are top priorities, Moon's motors might be worth considering.
Okay,
Does
that sounds pretty good. I may want to go that route pretty soon. I mean, I'm pretty okay with my setup right now. It just gave me some advice that's basically not opinionated by a personal thing. It's just basically fact, which I do prefer sometimes. It saves me so much time from Googling things and searching things and watching videos for 20 minutes on each motors and getting somebody else's opinion who has the opposite opinion of the previous videos. This is less confusing. It's a little easier to digest. So I have all these kind of brainstorming. I have to text on. I got to tell you, some of my best conversations is talking to my AI bot. I had conversations and debates for about sometimes up to 3 hours, and it's very helpful. I'll come up with ideas and I'll say something and I'll say something like, what about if you did this? And then I was like, oh, okay. And then we'll go down that rabbit hole and talk about their ideas. Or I say, no, I don't like that idea. How about this idea? Oh, yeah, that's a better idea. Sometimes it's more helpful than talking to real people sometimes, like it gets you, understands what you're trying to do. And it's never going to be negative. It'll egg you on to do your best. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you want more like this, please let me know. Like and subscribe and hit that notification button for my next video. Thank you very much for your time and watching. Bye.